or
when it's mattered.
I think maybe he may have picked up on some of the tendencies of these crossing routes right here in the passing game.
Fourth quarter adjustments. How you win Madden games.
Oh, what did he pick? Excellent pick. Can he get up and keep going?
Yes, he can.
Wow.
And he will.
Look at how quickly things change. What a huge, huge play by T. Davis right there. He's in the driver's seat right now.
Watch this replay. The
Wow.
throw to the flat. Chris Thompson cannot catch it. And Milton.
Wow.
Who else but Milton grabs the ball?
What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some more problems with Madden 19, but specifically this video is going to be based around why I think it is not a very good competitive game, and it is not a very good esport. And the Club Series Championship that happened a couple days ago is a very, very great example of this that you just saw at the beginning of the video, and I'm going to run it back a bunch of times while I'm talking in this video. So what you see here is game is tied 14-14. This is the Arizona Club Series. This is a professional tournament. I believe you win some money just for winning the actual club, but then you get put into the final Club Series tournament, which is all 32 club winners, and it's for like $700,000. So this is a big deal. A lot of these people play professionally. A lot of people, this is their career, or it's, you know, they're trying to make it their career because there is money in it. And what you're seeing here is the game is tied, and the guy throws the ball to a wide, it's a wide open drag route, and you see that the ball hits him in his back. This guy tries to turn around and catch it. He fails to catch it twice, and then the defensive back comes from yards away, dives at the ground, and intercepts it. And this, you know, we've seen a lot of fluky things happen in Madden, but this is one of the craziest ones that has, you know, actually been on film on the big stage, just showing how bad and fluky the gameplay is and why it really shouldn't be a competitive game in the state that it's in. And I've said this for quite a few years now. You know, the way the gameplay is, you know, something like this should not be happening on the big stage. Not in it's competitive mode. That's why they created the different game styles. Because some of you may be saying, well, in real life, sometimes people drop wide open passes. Well, that's true. You usually don't see passes just go off the back of somebody, and this has been a problem this year. This isn't something that just happens randomly. Like, this happens quite often in the flats and on drag routes. The ball just hit the back of your player, you know, either his back or the back of his helmet. He'll try to turn around and catch the ball, and then that allows defenders to try to break on the ball and make crazy interceptions like that, when in reality, you were throwing to a wide open wide receiver. You did your job. And yes, in real life, players do drop wide open passes sometimes. But the difference in real life is, you know, if you drop a wide open pass in real life, that was just you made a mistake. You took your eye off the ball. You failed to bring it in. In Madden, when you throw to a wide open receiver, you did what you were supposed to do. And, you know, like I said, there's different modes on the game, right? So if you drop wide open passes on simulation mode, well, that's fine, because that's supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen on competitive mode. That was the whole purpose of creating the different game styles, was that this was not supposed to happen on this style. This was to be used for online head-to-head and for the competitive tournaments. Because this should not be happening. Somebody should not lose out on a chance of $700,000 because of a play like this. He threw to an open wide receiver. It hit him in the back of his head. It's been a bug in the game since launch. You know, people have complained about it. It's still in the game, and now it's costing people money. You know, dropped interceptions, dropped passes, just crazy stuff has been costing people money in this game, and you can't roll this out as an esport when there's so much luck involved in this game. It's just ridiculous at this point. And shout out T. Davis for winning. Guy that I used to play with a lot back, you know, years ago in the EAFL leagues. Good dude. Probably would have still won the game anyway, because even if he just makes a tackle there, it's probably 3rd and 18, 3rd and 17. T. Davis is a very good defensive player. Probably would have locked him up and got the ball back anyway. So I'm not taking anything away from T. Davis here at all. I still believe he would have won the game, and I was rooting for him during the tournament. So, but the thing is, this shouldn't be the way that it happens, though. This shouldn't be the way that it happens, and I'm sure he would agree with that, you know. It just should not be the way that it happens. You can't put a game out there that's supposed to be competitive, and you have this happening, costing people games, when this dude did not do anything wrong. He threw to his open wide receiver, but because the gameplay is so bad, because the game is programmed so bad, because there's so many bugs on bugs on bugs, he has to deal with the ball hitting his player in the back of the head. And, you know, he might have went down and scored the game-winning field goal in this drive. We'll never know now because of what happened. And man, for so much money that's on the line, you know, don't get me wrong, there is somewhat of a skill gap. You see the same top players for the most part at the top every year, because when you're that good, you can fight the fluky stuff, you can overcome it. But once you get to that top portion, when you got the top 50 players, you're not always getting the best player to win. You're not always getting that because the fluke decides too much in this game. Now, here's another clip. This comes from Mr. Smith. He is another YouTuber. He's been in the community for a while. He sent me this clip. He allowed me to use it, so thank you for that. I'll link his YouTube in the description. He's playing Mutt Draft here, and what you're seeing is his opponent is throwing right at Casey Hayward, one of the best players in Mutt Draft. He has like 93 zone. His play rec is in the 90s. Like, he's one of the best cornerbacks in Mutt. The guy is throwing literally right at him, and he is not even making an attempt to make a play on the ball. He's literally just like looking away from the ball. He's like, oh, the ball's right here. Like, that should be a win for the defense 100 times out of 100. You have one of the best cornerbacks in the game. He is standing between the cornerback and the receiver. He's right there in the line of the pass. And he tries to not catch the ball. He like ducks his head and turns. Like, that is pathetic, man. Like, that should be a win for the defense every time. Even if he drops the interception there, which would still be very bad. Would still be bad because we're playing online. We're playing on competitive mode. It would still be bad if he dropped the pick, but the worst case scenario there should at least be a pass defended. It should still be a win for the defense. That down should have been a win for the defense. Not only does he not pick it off, not only does he not deflect the pass, not only does the pass just hit him in the face and fall to the ground and just become an incomplete pass, no, it gets completed. And that is what is so wrong with Madden gameplay, and it has been for years. It did not used to be like this. Yes, there used to be fluky things, but never to the degree that we have it this year. Or not just this year, but the past few years. It's like, you know, people talk about DDA. I don't really know if DDA is in the game. I don't really believe DDA and the way people think it is in the game, but the gameplay is so bad and buggy that these crazy things keep happening. You know, you have your guys in position to make a play, they don't make a play. You throw to an open guy, the ball hits him in his face, and then he gets picked off. You know, you'll have a guy break 5 tackles for a touchdown sometimes. Like, just crazy things happening in a game that's supposed to be competitive. There are people that lose games that they have no business losing, and yet they want to put this on the professional stage with so much money on the line, with people that do this for a living. Like, this is why so many players that want to play professionally are saying, like, if we're the top players in the world, we want a salary to play the game. Because you put all these hours, and that guy, you know, the pass that hit off the guy's head and he got intercepted. You know how many games that guy played, the hours, the time, the preparation he had to put in just to get there, just for that to happen, and he's coming away with nothing when he could have potentially had a shot at $700,000. Like, it's crazy. And you even have a problem, the best player in the world. He's going on Twitter and he's, you know, expressing his frustrations. You know, he's saying the game is so broken after the latest patch. We need EA to do something they have never done and go back to the day one patch. This is something I said in a video a few days ago. He said there's not one person that I have spoken to that doesn't like the release day version of Madden better than what it is now. And that's true because, like I said, they keep patching the game and it makes it worse. Yes, there's certain things that need to be fixed, bugs that need to be fixed, but they overpatch the game. And the game is just in the worst state possible now. He then goes on to say, he commented specifically on that play that happened that I showed at the beginning of this video. He said 700K is on the line and this man drops his pass. Stuff like this is too random and too much to overcome. Fumbles are one thing, wide open drops that turn into interceptions are pathetic. Again, yes, fumbles are something that we have to deal with in competitive Madden all the time. They're random too. You could cover the ball. You could have a guy with high carry, still fumble the ball. You got to overcome that. And you know, we've learned how to overcome that. Or the greatest players have learned how to overcome that. But when you're throwing to a wide open guy, he's dropping the ball, it's hitting him in his back, and it turns into an interception when it should have been positive yards for you. It's just getting out of hand. You know, he then goes on to say that, you know, he believes competitive Madden should probably be 7 to 8 minute quarters. And while that is very long of a game to play, but with the game being as fluky as it is and has been, in order to guarantee that the best players come out on top 99% of the time, you need to you know, stretch out the time of the game. Because when you're playing 5 minute quarters and stuff like that, and a couple fluky things don't go your way, that's the game. But if you have an extra 10 minutes of game time in there, you can overcome more fluky things that are happening to you. The better player can still win out. So I don't know what has to be done at this point. You know, I've kind of hit rock bottom with Madden this year. You've seen me complain in some recent videos, but this is just more proof in the pudding. Like, you can't put this game on a professional stage, call it an esport, when you're having things like this decide games. You know, the gameplay is bad. It has been bad. It keeps getting worse with each patch. You know, something has to be done because it's getting out of hand. You know, if you play online, you see crazy stuff like this happen all the time. Now, imagine if this was costing you thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Just ridiculous. You know, I'm online all the time. People are throwing the ball right at my guy, and he's not even... Same thing we showed in the clip a little bit earlier with Casey Hayward. I've seen that happen to me countless times this year, where my guy literally just, like, he'll duck his head and try to get out of the way of the ball. Like, he does not want anything to do with it when he's in perfect position to make a play on it. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point. And I don't know, but I wanted to make this video because things like this just need to be put out there now. People need to understand that this is not acceptable anymore. We need better gameplay than this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you did, as always, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.